"Go fetch my sister," she said. "It's time." John was awakened in the wee hours of the morning by his wife gently squeezing his arm. He jumped immediately from his bed, pulled on his trousers and boots, tucked his sleep shirt under his belt, and ran outside. At the pasture gate he awakened the closest horse available, an old mare aptly named Pockets, for the 2 round patches of dark hair on her rump. He didn't bother to saddle her. With just a bit and a bridle he jumped on bareback, gripping the horse's sides with his muscular thighs and clutching a handful of mane with his free hand. With one swift kick they took off in the darkness down the steep Porlock Hill. By the time he reached his sister-in-law's farmhouse in the valley, the horse was breathing heavily and was lathered in sweat. John dismounted, pulling at his wet, horsehair-covered trousers that were clinging to his legs, and ran to the door. A lamp was lit inside the house, and the door opened. "Oh, the baby is coming," was all that needed to be said, and Mary was ready in minutes, straddling the horse behind John in her long skirt that draped down over the horse's tail. "Don't ride too fast, or I fear you'll leave me in the ditch," she said, putting her arm securely round his waist. "Besides, babies take a while to come. No need to get excited yet." Mary was so calm about the situation, John's heart slowed a little. She knew much better than he did about such things. This was his first baby, after all. He allowed Pockets to walk at her own pace back up the hill, much to the horse's relief, since the poor beast was exhausted and now carrying 2 on her back. When they reached the house, the sisters hugged each other and then sequestered themselves in the bedchamber, while John waited nervously in the adjacent room. The first time he heard his wife cry out in pain from behind the closed door, it was all he could do not to scream himself. "Such a blessed event as having a baby should not be so difficult," he thought to himself. He had heard the women in his extended family say it wasn't all that bad, but now, sitting nervously at the kitchen table in their little farmhouse, he was beginning to think they had misled him. An hour later, they finally heard the baby cry. John jumped up so quickly he knocked his chair over on the floor. Mary opened the door and brought him a tiny bundle wrapped securely in swaddling clothes and a woolen blanket, placing the newborn gently in John's muscular arms. "Oh, the doctor needs packing material to stop the bleeding. It's all right, John, don't worry." He was worried. Something was wrong. He felt it. Dr. Philby came into the room and took the baby from John's arms. "You can see your wife now," he said. His eyes drooped and his lips pursed. "She's very weak, so just for a minute." John entered the room and looked down at his pretty young wife on the bed. Her face was ashen. There was no colour in her normally rosy cheeks. She reached for his hand and held it, her fingers gripping his weakly. "We have a son," she whispered. John sat at the edge of the bed and stroked her hair. "Oh, yes, he's a fine boy." "We may have to ask my sister to help with him for a while. I'm feeling very tired, John." Her voice got smaller with each word she uttered. "You've been through a lot. You need to get some rest now," John said. She nodded and closed her eyes, and John felt her fingers loosen and fall away from his hand. "Margaret?" he said softly. The instant he touched her face, he knew it was over. She looked as if she was sleeping peacefully, but his wife's spirit had departed. Tears clouded his eyes, and he fought them. He bowed his head in sorrow, knowing his son would never know his mother.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.